Hey, y'all, listen, happy Thursday. I can't even believe it's Thursday, but it's Thursday. It's May 1st, and we're in the building, okay? Trending topics, we're here. We got stuff to talk about as usual. Listen, tonight's title is as usual. I try to keep it simple. I try to keep it clean. Tonight's title is called Celebrity Chaos. Celebrity Chaos. Because these celebrities are out of control, losing their mind, doing the most. It's celebrity chaos, okay? So we got a couple people on the docket here. We got Diddy. He declined the plea deal. Now, what I learned about the plea deal was that when they offer you these plea deals, what they do is they offer you close to the amount of years you would get if you were found guilty. So, yeah, you might as well go ahead and roll the dice. Because if they offer you 15 years in jail or 20 years in jail, and if you found guilty, you could get 25, what do you got to lose? So he had to physically go in court today, and the judge asked him, you was offered a plea deal, right? He said, yeah. He said, you declined it? He said, yes. He said, you understand the stakes? He said, yes. He said, you understand if you found guilty that you can go to jail for more time than the plea deal offer? He said, yes. So Diddy's rolling the dice. So we're going to see how it turns out because the trial starts on May the 5th, jury selection, and they said they got 3 days to get this jury in order. So by next Thursday, opening arguments will happen for the Diddy case. So next Thursday, going to be busy, because we're going to hear about these opening arguments. Well, we'll hear starting Monday how the jury selection is going, but Thursday, for sure, we're going to hear about the opening arguments. Then we got one of Nick Cannon baby mamas. Listen, it was bound to happen. For the most part, he was able to keep them all under wraps, had them all reeled in, had them all lined up like ducks in a row. You be quiet, because I'm funding your life. Well, one of the baby mamas, Alyssa, she let out her emotions on her Instagram stories because Nick Cannon came out and said he insured his private area for $10 million. He said $5 million each ball. Respectfully, I'm saying this. This is what he said. And so when he said that, she came out and said on the Instagram story, so good if something happened to you, then our daughter, who you haven't seen in 30 days, will get some money. The daughter going to be all the way down the line because he got, 12 kids? She's upset because he hasn't seen the baby in 30 days. But I'm like, girl, that ain't bad. There's some fathers that are not even as busy as Nick Cannon, and they ain't see their kids in years. You said 30 days. He got 12 rounds to make, and he got jobs. And I'm definitely, y'all know me, I ain't making no excuse for Nick Cannon. But let me be clear. When you sign up for shenanigans and you think you're not going to get shenanigans, I don't know what your thought process is, and I'm going to say that respectfully. She signed up for this for a man that already has several baby mothers. And this is the baby mom that, unfortunately, may he rest in peace. This is the baby mom that had baby Zen that passed away. And after that, she had another kid, a daughter with Nick Cannon. We're going to carry on, like I said, celebrity chaos. Then we got Suge Knight. That lawyer got out of representing him. And I know that lawyer is thanking God right now. That lawyer is home thanking God that he no longer has to worry about a Suge Knight. So Suge Knight finally settled with this family. In 2015, he ran over a man with his truck in broad daylight. And the man lost his life. The family has been suing him since 2015. They went to trial in 2022, and it was a hung jury. And they was asking for $81 million at the time. So they went from 81 to 1.5. But you know what? The widow, she said she had enough. And she didn't want to do another round of Suge Knight being a clown in the court. And this came out of her mouth, not Diva's. And she told the article, the people that was writing the article, she said, don't censor my words. She said, I hope somebody shanks him in the jail. I said, woo! She's upset. And she's upset because her husband was her high school sweetheart. She said, known him for 40 years. And that woman said that she has 0 good days since the day he died. I'm praying for her. She says 0. And she said the only reason why she took the deal, she's not happy with it. She said she thanks her lawyer. She's not happy with it, but she wants to move on with her life. But she still got venom towards Suge Knight. We're going to talk about it. Then we got Kanye West. He sues the dentist. Listen. Unfortunately, some of these doctors and dentists that take an oath to do no harm to their patients, money. They say money is the root of all evil. They see dollar signs, and then these celebrities will ask them for stuff, and they give these celebrities whatever they want. There was 2 doctors that were responsible for what happened to Matthew Perry. Now, granted, he was on the stuff, but still, y'all didn't have to give it to them. Y'all made it easier. He didn't have to go out on the street looking for a local drug dealer. Why? Because he got one that had a blue prescription, a legal drug dealer. And they was laughing at him. Doctors. You got the doctors who first they mutilated Michael Jackson because they kept doing surgery on him so much so to the point where he couldn't breathe through his own nose. They mutilated him. All for a $1 bill. Then after they mutilated him, they kept giving him painkillers. They kept feeding drugs to him through his veins. And that last doctor, he paid. He went to jail, lost his license, his reputation and everything. Greed. But it's the worst kind of greed because you are a doctor. Prince was hooked on prescription medications. He was outside of a CVS waiting for a prescription to be filled because he was hooked. Lost his life. Doctor was giving those prescriptions. If you look up, there's countless people. And I didn't know this, but what do you call it? They said Gerald Levert. That's the one that passed away. They said he was hooked on some pain meds or some type of meds. Prescription meds. I said, this is ugly. But if you look at, if you look it up, there's a lot of celebrities, unfortunately, that was hooked on prescription medications. Let me tell you something about prescription narcotics. First of all, it's but so many they're going to give us, the average person, because they legally can't write it for us like that. It's but so many they're going to give us. But money talks. Cash is king. And it's very sad. So those are our stories. I thought I had another story on the docket I got to see. I think Suge Knight, Diddy, Nick Cannon, and Kanye West. So we're going to talk about this. Let me bring the people in the building. Y'all know what I need, right? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Yes, we do. It's called Celebrity Chaos. Diddy's on the docket. Nick Cannon, Suge Knight, and Kanye West. I appreciate the choo-choo. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, Julius. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva. Hit the like button.
Hey, Katrina. Listen, we're going to go ahead and get right into these stories because we got a lot of stories to talk about. And first, I'm going to get into Diddy declining his deal. And I think I get why he declined, because at the end of the day, you might as well go ahead and roll the dice and take your chances, especially if they was going to give you darn near the same amount of years if you took a plea deal versus if you were found guilty anyway. Why not take a chance and fight for your life? So Diddy, I don't cut deals with feds. Diddy was back in court Thursday for one final hearing before his criminal trial, and he told the judge he rejected a plea deal presented to him by federal prosecutors. The Bad Boy Records founder strolled into Manhattan courtroom wearing a tan jumpsuit, looking gray and thin, and he waved to the public and media seated in the gallery before taking a seat at the defense table between two of his attorneys, Tenney and Brian Still. Now, Brian Still was, remind me who lawyer he was again. He wanted him. Darn it, the name is slipping my mind right now who lawyer Brian Still was. I want to say Young Thug, right? Diddy was smiling and in good spirits, chatting with Tenney and Brian, and he was chummy and seemed unfazed by the upcoming trial. The judge asked Diddy if he rejected a written plea offer from the government, and Diddy replied, "Yes, I did." Diddy was also asked if he was aware he would potentially serve more time in prison if convicted than if he took a plea deal, and Diddy told the judge he understood the stakes. While we don't know what the prosecutors offers, they offer a sentence close to what the defendant will receive if convicted. Commonly, they don't expect the defendant to accept the deal. Instead, prosecutors are guarding against grounds for appeal. So they're trying to protect themselves. If he is found guilty and he wants to appeal, they're going to pretty much say, well, you was given every chance that you could possibly have. He was offered a plea deal. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show this where Diddy does have some supporters out there, because I don't know who this gentleman is, but he's wearing a free Diddy sweatshirt, and he said pretty much if you want one, you can get it for free from him. Let's take a look.
I love the hoodie. Is this going to be available to the public, or is this something that you just did personally?
It's available to everybody.
Is there a website?
Not yet, but they're on the street of Harlem, they're on the street of Brooklyn.
No way. So people are selling these hoodies?
No, they're selling them. We're giving them.
Oh, for free?
Yes. Free love. We support Puff because he's innocent, and I'm wholeheartedly believing he's innocent. So I knew he was innocent.
So you say you know he's innocent?
1,000%.
When you were in court today, we saw you giving him a heart tap. Tell us about that moment.
He's saying I love him, and then stay strong. We're going to be here.
And what was your impression of his demeanor in court today? How did he look to you?
Sorry. He looked good. He looked,
Who can we anticipate seeing in the courtroom from Diddy's family?
I don't know. It's the family.
Have you given this hoodie to any celebrities yet, or any people ask for, or maybe requesting it?
Maybe requesting the shirts, the hoodies. I'm just making sure that we bring awareness,
Right.
Yeah.
Any celebrities that you can mention, or you maybe?
No, I'd rather not.
We saw you in the courtroom when he gave the peace sign to you. Can you just speak on that moment? How it made you feel to see someone you care about, give you some love back, or you haven't been able to see them in a long time?
To watch him smile and to watch him be happy and to watch him be focused like he's always been, that was enough for me. I was happy to see him.
Have you been in touch with him? Have you gotten any sense of how he's feeling or what's been kind of occupying his mind?
He's just looking to put this behind us. That's it.
Was he in good spirits?
I mean, for the most part,
Right.
He's just ready to put this behind him,
How's his mother? I know last time she came here, she seemed a little jarred by the press. How's she doing? How's she dealing with this?
Everyone just looking to put this behind us. That's it.
Do you think if Diddy was here, would you have like a message that you would want to convey? Like, has he expressed kind of?
That he love everybody. That's it. Love.
I love. If prosecutors didn't offer it, it could give Diddy a post-conviction argument that his attorneys didn't effectively represent his interests, and therefore he could get a new trial. Thursday's hearing also touched on jury selection, with the judge saying jury selection would begin Monday, May 5th at 8 a.m. sharp. with the goal of selecting a jury within 3 days. Diddy has pled not guilty to all 5 charges he's facing: 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, and 1 count of racketeering. Prosecutors revealed last week they offered Diddy a deal that was turned down, but this is the first time Diddy acknowledged so himself. This may be the last time we see Diddy in jail uniform. The judges allowing him to wear button-down dress shirts, pants, and shoes without laces for the upcoming trial. It's all coming to a head. Stay tuned. Julius, your thoughts?
He chose not to take the deal that was offered. And okay, you acknowledge it. What? This is what you wanted. You wanted a public spectacle, and you got one. So, I mean, I'm not tuning in for the nonsense, but that's just me. Diddy wants sorry about that mistype, y'all. Diddy wants anything to soothe his ego, because his ego is bruised. If it was me, I would have took the plea deal and would have been done with this, but that's just me.
And thanks, Julius. Yeah, but the plea deal, honestly, if it's going to be the same amount of time you could get by being found guilty, then I will go ahead and just roll the dice and take my chances, because it's a possibility that maybe I won't be found guilty and I'll be freed. I think that is the reason why he definitely didn't take the plea deal. Savannah, your thoughts? And thank you, Toadette. You said Young Thug's lawyer. Thank you.
I agree with you, Diva. It also allows him time to be seen by the public and his family, and away from the prison and jail cell. So I would have not taken the plea deal and took my chances as well. But in regards to the man selling or giving Puff hoodies, and I think these people are all coming out for an opportunity to be part of the story, because I really don't understand what his investment is in this. If you were all about Sean's innocence, you should have been there from the beginning. Then I would have absolutely given him some credibility, but it just looks like someone being an opportunist at the moment, which is something that the family, as they come in and out of the courtroom, their focus needs to be on what's happening in the courtroom with their family member, not the circus show that the media is going to make outside the courtroom, because this is absolutely going to be a media circus, whether it is inside or outside. I don't agree that there should be no cameras inside. I think it should. The public has been invested in this story for over a year now, maybe. And we definitely, we've all had our assumptions, speculations, and read the transcripts. So I think we should be allowed to be invested till the end, and had the trial televised. I hope that his legal team is doing their homework over the weekend, because I don't think it's going to be an easy trial. The state is going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him. So this is going to be interesting, especially RICO charge, but you're only one person. There's so many holes in this saga that I'm hoping that things can be answered, and some of the bleeding will stop starting next week. I'll be surprised if it does start on Monday. I honestly will be surprised.
Yeah, I think it will start with the jury selection. I don't know if this jury selection is going to happen within 3 days, but time will tell, because this judge seems adamant about keeping this thing on track. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I think the guy was paid to be there to rally up some support. I think it's a risky move. not take the plea deal. I do. I think it's a gamble. He playing Russian roulette. Um, Here's the thing. We all know that he's done some horrendous things. Um, Whether this will be the takedown that gives justice to all the people that he's done dirty, we have no idea. But I'm gonna say good luck.
Thank you. In my opinion, Wayne, your thoughts?
Get past me, Diva, because I just came in.
Okay, no problem. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, in order for the DA to offer him that amount of time, and then they didn't make it less than that, they probably got a pretty strong case. But as we seen with Young Thug and his crew, YSL, those people walk. He got probation, they got probation, whatever. But it all depends on what your lawyer can. What they say? It's not what you know, but what you can prove. And if you put in, if just one jury have a doubt, that can throw out the whole case. So, um, maybe he think he can get it, get one of them to agree with him. Because if they offer him that amount of time, their case ain't no weak case. And as who was saying, he's playing Russian roulette or whatever. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Because if they offer him that deal like that, Diva, they got something pretty strong on him. Because if they didn't, they would have offered a lesser time, lesser years. But like I said, we've seen people escape ropes more than once. So we'll see how it goes. That's all I got.
Thanks, Katrina. All right, so we'll go ahead and roll right into the next story. And the next story is I might as well go ahead and do Suge Knight paying up to the family of the person that he took their life. He ran over them with a truck back in 2015. They have been fighting this civil lawsuit for years now. And finally, the family just was like, enough. And Suge Knight agreed to 1.5 million. I don't even know if they're ever going to see this 1.5 million. I'm hoping so. It's just a sad situation. So Suge Knight strikes a $1.5 million settlement to avert a retrial in a wrongful death case. And another reversal, the Death Row Records co-founder agreed to pay the widow and daughters of the Compton businessman he killed with his truck in 2015. After derailing a partial settlement last week and claiming he wanted a full-blown trial, Suge Knight made another about face today and agreed to a $1.5 million settlement wrongful death civil case. The last minute pack averted a retrial over claims filed by the wife and two daughters of Terry Carter, the Compton businessman who died on January 29th, 2015, when Knight mowed him down in a parking lot of Los Angeles burger stand in an incident linked to the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. Knight appeared by video from a prison in San Diego and agreed to a deal at a hearing in downtown Los Angeles. Carter's widow, Lillian, and daughters Nakia and Crystal sat at the plaintiff's table as their lawyer, Lance, said each woman was due to receive $500,000 under the terms of the agreement. Before he gave his final approval, Knight asked the judge that what would happen if he moved ahead with a jury trial without his longtime lawyer, David, representing him. David Kenner spent the past few weeks trying to withdraw from the case, citing a conflict. During today's hearing, Knight seemed to accept their relationship had completely broken down. Los Angeles County Judge Thomas Long said if Knight didn't settle, jury selection will begin Thursday, even if Knight was left representing himself. There will be no further continuances. The case is out of time, Long said. Speaking outside the courthouse after the afternoon hearing, Carter's widow wiped tears, remembering the husband she met in high school and knew for 40 years before Knight left him for dead in the parking lot of a Tan's Burger in Compton. It's hard living without him when I lived all those many years with him. It's been very, very difficult, Lillian tells Rolling Stone. I've been in pain ever since January 29, 2015. I hadn't had a good day, not one good day. Lillian says the thoughts of sitting through another trial in a case after a jury deadlock at an initial trial in 2022 led her to accept the settlement. I'm not happy with the outcome of it at all, but I don't want to give him another opportunity to put on a clown show and act like a bitch, she says, asking Rolling Stone not to censor her comments. Maybe somebody will shank him in jail. Carter's daughter said they hope the settlement will allow them to focus their efforts elsewhere. I'm glad it's finally over. It's been a long emotional and mental roller coaster. We couldn't put ourselves through it all again, Nakia says. I want to move onward and upward, to get to work like my dad was always saying. On a recorded line from his prison, Knight tells Rolling Stone that he regrets what happened at Tams, but he stands by his claim he was fleeing an armed ambush and struck Carter by accident. Terry was a friend of mine. It definitely wasn't done intentionally. It wasn't done to bring harm to him, Knight says. One of the reasons I settled is I got respect for Terry. So that means I got respect for his family. I didn't want to put the family through more pain. It's not that I did anything wrong. I never would have. But I do owe the family an apology because of this thing they had to go through. Knight 60 is serving a 28-year prison term after taking a plea deal related to Carter's death. Knight was initially charged with murder, but the count was dropped to voluntary manslaughter under the pact with prosecutors reached in 2018. He's currently trying to overturn the conviction with the help of another lawyer, Jasmine Mines. The wrongful death lawsuit filed by Carter's widow and two daughters alleged that Knight had a habit of breaking the law and then used his Ford F-150 Raptor truck to carelessly, recklessly, violently, and neglectfully kill Carter. At the 2022 trial, the family's lawyer asked juries to find Knight liable for $81 million, which equaled $1 million per year for each woman for each of the 27 years that Carter likely would have lived otherwise. The deadly innocent at the center of the criminal and civil cases unfolded shortly after Knight was turned away from a production office for Straight Outta Compton. Prosecutors claim Knight went to the base camp because he was upset with his violent depiction in the film and lack of financial participation. During the first civil trial, Knight claimed he wasn't upset and visited the base camp to request a meeting with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was an original member of NWA and went on to co-found Death Row Records with Knight. Knight testified that he wanted to tell Dre he was hearing from unidentified law enforcement that Dr. Dre put a murder-for-hire contract on his head. Knight said he didn't believe Dre wanted him dead, but wanted Dre to know what he was allegedly was hearing. Dre has denied the murder-for-hire claim through a lawyer. An actor and self-described non-active gang member named Clee Bone Sloan was working as a technical advisor on Straight Outta Compton that day and got into a verbal altercation with Knight at the movie's base camp. According to prosecutors in a civil lawsuit, surveillance video from TAM showed that Sloan and Knight fought through Knight's Raptor window at the burger joint parking lot a short time later. The video shows that Knight reversed the 2-ton truck, knocking Sloan to the ground. Seconds later, Knight truck accelerated forward, running over both Sloan and Carter before Knight fled the scene, the video shows. Sloan was rushed to a hospital with 2 crushed ankles and a serious head laceration. Carter died within an hour from blunt force injuries. Kenner, 82, that was Suge Knight's lawyer, has been Knight's lawyer for years, but he asked to be relieved from the civil retrial earlier this month after claiming he learned something disturbing during a recent phone call with Knight. He said after the call, he felt anxious about being able to competently and energetically try the case. Law rejected, that's the judge, Law rejected Kenner's request multiple times, but signaled he was on the verge of granting a motion heading into the hearing. Now that Mr. Knight has chosen to resolve the case, I look forward to no involvement, Kenner tells Rolling Stones. The Carter family lawyer declined to comment. Lillian thanked him as she departed the courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. Lance worked very hard with the case. We're very appreciative, she says. I know that was a mouthful. Julius, your thoughts?
Lord have mercy. Now we knew He was hot tempered. Suge Knight, I mean. We knew this, right? But this ragamuffin is a bona fide menace. And he is also both dumb. He's everything dumb, stupid. You even though I shouldn't be surprised, he unalived somebody using a vehicle as a dangerous weapon.
Mm.
He is I shouldn't say this word, a savage, a disgraceful, bow-headed madman savage, and not in the good sense. Let me clarify that now, live on air. Not in the good sense. Mm-mm. And that lawyer, I bet the Lord was talking to him and told him, "Man, you need to run." And I know he's glad. He's probably so glad. He probably has to have no longer involvement with Suge Knight because he's just realizing how demonic in all capital letters, Suge Knight truly is. And it's like, I have no more words.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Savannah, your thoughts?
So once, if we all can recall, those of us who are a little senior in age, when this movie started filming, it was a hype around the production of this movie. How what's his name, Ice Cube and Dre were being producers to this movie and telling the story of NWA, all the way to casting his son O'Shea as being the lead in this movie. Um, Suge was upset from the beginning that he was not part of this project. He was making it known in interviews and radio um, stations that he wanted to be part of this project, and he was being a menace before this incident. The best evidence was that video. If we did not have that video, would we have known the true story of just how evil this man really is? He was very intentional in how he used the vehicle as a weapon and came on there threatening and bullying not just the other young men that were in that crowd, because there's more than just that incident of Suge coming up there. So I, although this, my heart breaks for the family, I don't think I would have settled. After taxes, they may get a little over 200,000. And Suge Knight has more than the 1.2 mil that he's worth, and I question to see if he's making any money off that podcast as well. That the government is so um, shamefully allowing for him to do from prison. I don't think that this family would ever get justice from someone like Suge Knight. I don't even think Michelle A has gotten justice. But he is where he belongs. And I don't think that there's a lawyer on this side of the earth that can defend Suge Knight and be safe from his retaliation if things don't go his way.
Yeah. Ooh. Thank you, Savannah. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So let's be clear, okay? Suge Knight has been a menace for a very, very long time. This ain't the first time that he's taken a life. He takes it like it's fun. I do feel bad that the family had to drop it down so low to get it resolved. But Suge finds a way to wiggle himself out of just about everything. The only reason why he couldn't wiggle himself out of this is because of the video. Suge has been a part of all of the worst crimes that has happened in the hip hop community. But what do you expect when you have a producer that is still halfway in the hood? Um, and I think this is where we need to take a stand. He needs no, and I do mean no, he needs no interaction with the public. He needs to sit in that jail cell for the rest of his life, for all I care. As many lives as he's gotten away with taking, he finally got down for this one. You need to stay there, sir. It's better for everybody in the community that you stay there, because the minute they let him out, he will take another, because this man hasn't learned.
Thank you, in my opinion. Katrina, your thoughts?
I mean, what can you expect? This man is a woman beater. Be for real. This man has popped people across their heads while they having tabletop meetings. Be for real. And he said that he didn't try to run over the guy on purpose. He was escaping somebody trying to ambush him. So if that's the case, why didn't you just settle with the family from the get-go instead of putting them through that if you love that person so much? Why didn't you settle then when you really had the money? Now, from what I understand, I think you went from 300 million because I think Snoop Dogg about Death Row records. But what I'm saying is, if you care for that family so much and you care for that guy so much, why didn't you just go ahead and settle with their family? But then again, he probably didn't want to settle at that point in time because he was trying to persist as himself was innocent. So if he would have settled, that would have made him look guilty. But after you found guilty, why didn't you go ahead and settle? Because see, you was mad. You was mad then. You didn't care about the family. You didn't care about this guy because you was gonna be behind bars. And if you felt so bad, why did you drive off after you ran the guy over? So you didn't feel bad at all. So ain't nobody gonna have sympathy for you because of the things that you have done, the things that you done with these people in these record labels, the beatings you giving these women. So now you're getting your karma. And people don't understand karma is real. And now he's looking at 28 years. So sit there, podcast yourself to death, and we'll see how it goes. With 1.5 million? They dropped that from 81 million to 1.5. No, he should have been settled with these people if he cared about how these people felt. He didn't care. He just looking out for himself. And condolences to this woman for losing her high school sweetheart. That's a sad situation.
It
But
is.
that's all I got.
Thank you. Very sad. 40 years. 40 years. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll into this next story. And the next story is Kanye West is suing his dentist. I feel like when a medical professional becomes, for lack of a better word, a drug dealer, they really need to pay. This is extremely sad. Let me go ahead and share a screen. So Kanye West and Bianca Censori to sue Beverly Hills dentist for getting rapper Hook on nitrous gas. Kanye West and his wife Bianca Censori are planning to sue a Beverly Hills dentist, claiming he got the rapper hooked on nitrous gas. According to a press release obtained by Page Six, the gold digger rapper and an Australian model served renowned dentist Dr. Thomas Connolly with a notice on Wednesday, informing him of their plans to sue him for medical malpractice, gross negligence, fraud, exploitation, reckless administration of controlled and uncontrolled substances, and more. The press release states that in spring 2024, the self-proclaimed father of diamond dentistry allegedly attempted to seize control of the Grammy winners, a global music and fashion brand, Yeezy LLC, while incapacitating its principal, Yee, with a cocktail of controlled and uncontrolled substances. That's the dentist right there. Connolly allegedly charged West, who now goes by Yee, $50,000 a month for the nitrous gas alone, per the press release. Yee and Tensori, who wed in December 2022, claimed Connolly alleged crimes resulted in injuries and damages that include neurological and physical injury to West, in addition to psychological and emotional trauma, chemical dependency, which required treatment, financial harm, and economic losses, and loss of custodian. Per California law, a formal notification has to be served to defendants 90 days before they can be sued for medical malpractice. Per page 6, has reached out to Connolly for comment, but did not immediately hear back. The public was first informed that West 47 was allegedly addicted to the nitrous gas last August by his rep, Milo. Connolly got Yee hooked on nitrous laughing gas. It is my belief that Connolly sought to diminish these mental faculties so that Connolly and his business associates could extract millions of dollars from him, Milo tweeted last summer. And I remember that because I did a story on it. That's the grill that he made for Kanye. It was ridiculous. The British far-right political commentator 40 claimed he uncovered the fraud and intervened, which upset the Yeezy creator and led to Milo to abruptly resign from Yeezy last May. Milo then claimed that Connolly was a dangerous predator who targets African-American celebrities into whose mouth he put fake diamonds. He also revealed that he filed a complaint with the California Dental Board against the dentist. That's what he got made for Kanye. In his complaint, Milo accused Connolly of charging Yee $50,000 for recreational use of nitrous gas and giving the heartless MS the gas even after he began showing distressing symptoms that led to widespread comment and concern. At the time, a rep for Connolly denied the allegations to TMZ, saying Milo tweets were not only factually incorrect, but also intentionally misleading. Connolly installed West's insane $850,000 titanium orthodontics last January. This is sad. I remember when it happened. I remember the dentist denying it. Julius, your thoughts?
Craziness. $50K a month?
So sad.
That is a powerful drug. A powerful drug. I mean, he was going off the handle before all that mess. But it made him worse. And it was his decision. It was his decision. He always does this. Every time he spirals, he looks to blame other people. But whose choice was it ultimately? Yee. I'm not giving him no grace. Nah.
Thank you. But he couldn't get thank you, Increase Matters. I appreciate you. But he couldn't get that nitrous gas on his own. This dentist is wrong. Yeah, he might have took it, but this dentist is wrong. Savannah, your thoughts?
Two things can be true at the same time. While I think that medical professionals do hold or are required to hold an allegiance to the oath that they take, I also believe that patients have some accountability in what they request. And this is a superstar who is unhinged, who is not used to being told no. And if he didn't get it from this medical professional, from this dentist, he would get it from somewhere else. So while I think this is just Kanye's way of staying in the news media, and I will be looking forward to the month where we do not have a Kanye story. about him. I thought him and his girl broke up, and did they get back together?
I think they did because I think at the end of the day, she loves the man, and she probably feels sorry for him.
I feel sorry for society and for his children. I'm Kanye and his antics are exhausting, and it's no longer about the music and his art and his talent. It's about staying in social media realms and being the topic of one of the top stories. I think he holds a lot of responsibility. While I do agree that a dentist, any medical professional, whether it be from Michael or Matthew or the other hundreds of thousands of celebrities that are out there getting their way when it comes to narcotics, um, he holds Kanye holds a lot of responsibility in his situation now. So I think this is just a frivolous lawsuit and his way of staying in the news.
Whew. Wayne, your thoughts?
My thing is, how do you get hooked on laughing gas? I mean, how do you get hooked on this?
The same way Michael Jackson was hooked on the Propofol to make him go to sleep.
I know, but all laughing gas do is kind of like either make you
Still a
laugh.
drug. It's still a drug.
Yeah, well, if he didn't get it from him, he got it from somebody else. I don't have no sympathy at all. I don't care if all those grills fall out, looking like some monster with teeth like that. He asked for it, he got it. The doctor may have been wrong, but you asked for it, you got it. If it wasn't this doctor, it would have been another doctor or somebody else. He would have got it, you know, as with his money. People have that money, and then when they spend it and get these services and they turn out wrong, but they beg. I'm sure Michael Jackson begged his plastic surgeon, do my nose, do this, do the chin. Not gonna say no. He wanted a laughing gas. And he had $50,000, I imagine, and paid for it. So I don't feel sorry for him. I hope he don't get nothing. I hope he don't get a dime.
Well, y'all got no mercy. Good gosh. Thank you, Wayne. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So no, I was finna say I'm of two minds, but I'm not. I feel like this, okay? Whereas I don't want Kanye to get a doggone thing, but a straight jacket in a mental, facility to deal with his bipolar depression. I also want this doctor, okay? I want this doctor to be found guilty as well. I want him on legal charges, though. I don't want it to be about money, okay? Because here's the thing. We start giving grace to people because a star that had the money was doing it, then that's when these doctors that you're not paying is going to start offing us because we ain't got the money to pay them. Your quality of care goes down. Our doctors take an oath to do no harm, whether they paying for it or not. We all know that the long terms of any drug is it's going to do something. And the end result is you're going to either be paralyzed or unalived. So where's the do no harm? I want our medical profession to give a dang. Okay? I want to get back to the point where I could trust the doctor with my life. All these doctors are out here making money and feel like they ain't gotta take that oath serious no more. Do no harm is out the window. We've all been harmed. No, I want the laws to change, okay? I want them to change. But I don't want Kanye to get a doggone thing, but to be admitted into a hospital and get his mind right.
Ooh, Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. You sat down there and let this man put all this metal in your mouth. I hope you got some good toothpaste, and I hope they don't rust whatever because they said the stuff was fake. And then again, um, if this doctor knew that he was addicted to this pain, I mean to this laughing gas, then he should be held responsible because even though if this doctor didn't give it to him, he could have said, "Well, I'm not gonna do it." So you go find you another doctor. But I wouldn't put my license on the line for over prescribing medicine to a patient. That if you cared, but you have to care. These doctors get kickbacks out of every prescription that they write. When you see those pharmaceutical people walk up in there and they give you this stuff, you the guinea pigs. They're handing you this stuff so you can see how it's going to work. But every time this doctor write a prescription, that pharmacy or that Lilly or whatever these people names, they get a percentage of the prescriptions that the doctor write to you. Now you have these doctors out here prescribing these opiates. We've had so many kids that's been unalive on these opiates. The stuff ain't nothing to play with. This stuff is really more harmful than the sea on the streets. When you taking this medication messes with your breathing, it messes with your heart, it messes with your mind, it's knock you out. And then you have to be aware of what you're taking because sometimes it could be laced. But for these doctors to be out here prescribing this medication and then having a pharmacy hooked up to their doctor practice so they can give you the prescription, you go next door and you pay money and for the medicine. They making big time money. But I'm so glad that a lot of them have been caught and a lot of them in prison because so many people have passed away dealing with this type of stuff. And getting on that stuff and getting off that stuff is not an easy task. It's not an easy task. So when you prescribing these medications to these people, you need to know their tolerance. You need to know how much to give them and when to stop. And then you can't prescribe it for them and then stop all of a sudden because they would go into withdrawals. You need to give them enough if they having surgeries or anything thing like that. You need to give them enough so that way they won't get hooked. But I've seen people that take one and hook. So if you got an addicted personality, you're gonna get hooked on anything, not just because it's a substance or whatever. It can be anything. But these doctors do need to pay attention to their patient. You overprescribe and you know what you're doing, but like I said, they get kickbacks out of every prescription that they
Listen,
write.
let me just interject real quick, and so we could get back on track here. This is not something you could get on prescription. This was illegal what he was doing. This nitrous gas is something that only the dentist should be using in the office when they're doing certain
Yes.
medical procedures. So this is
That's what
not
I'm saying. It's illegal, and the doctor should be paying for it. And
yeah.
he should. The doctor should be paying for this, even though he got this problem and he wanted it. But you should have said, "Well, no, I'm not going to do this because I don't think it's healthy." Then if he went to somebody else, he went to somebody else. But you did it because you was out. You was out for greed. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Tay Tay.
Kanye West, you did to yourself. You mess up your teeth. It's your fault. You shouldn't went to the dentist in the first place. You should never ever pick those jaws from 007 teeth in the first place. We will talk about this right now. So Kanye West, I don't have no sympathy for you at all. I will wait on this right here. I just don't have no sympathy for you. But I agree with, in my opinion, about you need to get some help, dude. Because your milk tea ain't physically, you need help, my guy. You really do. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll right into the last story. And the last story is one of Nick Cannon baby mothers. She's upset because he went on a podcast because he's always talking to somebody, talking about he insured his private area, his balls, $10 million, $5 million for each one. And she said, "Oh, that's cute. So at least when something happened to you, or our daughter who you haven't seen in 30 days will get some money." So, and this is the one that unfortunately she had baby Zen with Nick Cannon. The baby passed away, and then afterwards they had a daughter together. Nick Cannon blasted by model for not seeing his daughter in over a month. Model Alyssa Scott called out Nick Cannon, with whom she shares daughter Halo 2, for allegedly not seeing their child in over a month. Scott took to her Instagram stories on Thursday and shared a clip from Cannon's appearance on Raven Simone and wife Miranda's Tea Time podcast. In the preview, Cannon talked about how he insured his reproductive parts for $10 million, how much each testicle is worth, and how the insurance payout would be split amongst his family. Ha ha, funny. Any plans on seeing your child? It's been over a month, Scott wrote underneath the video, tagging Cannon. But good to know she'll still get some of your money if anything happens to your balls. And she goes shaking my head. So that's her and the daughter together. I'm not going to read the whole article. You know, Nick Cannon has a lot of kids. He has a lot of jobs. This is what she put. This is the post she put on her Instagram story. And she's upset because he hasn't seen their daughter that they have together in 30 days. This man has a ton of kids, a ton of jobs. And I hate to say this, I'm going to say this respectfully to Alyssa. She kind of knew what she signed up for. She signed up. So Cannon is the father to 12 children. He got the twins, Moroccan and Monroe, with Mariah Carey. They're 14. Okay, he shares them with ex-wife. He has Golden is 7 and Rise is 1 and daughter Powerful 3, with whom he shared with Brittany Bell. He additionally shares twins Zion and Zillion 3 and daughter Beautiful 2 with Abby De La Rosa, son Legendary 2 with Bree TC, and daughter Onyx 2 with Lanisha Nicole. I don't know what she wants. 12 kids. He hasn't seen that one in 30 days, and this man got a ton of jobs. So I'm not shocked. Julius, your thoughts?
She has known that this man has been like this, correct? She has known he is like this, and you want to have a meltdown now. So I'm going to get her together real quick. You chose to lay down with him. You chose to lay down with it. You could have chose someone that would love you the way you deserve, but you chose to lay down with Nick Cannon. When he said he's not into monogamy and he does his thing the way he does his thing. He said that. But now you wanna, he has a seat. Girl, you have a phone. Call him and see if he's free. He can talk to his daughter. He doesn't have to be there. But you didn't say he's not in your child's life. Oh, he hasn't seen her in 30 days. Okay. So he runs a show. Them filming times can run long. Okay, so what else? Anywho, can't think of anything at the top of my head. Back to Miss Wanna Be Dramatic for a minute. You chose to lay down with him. You ain't special, princess. Time to pull the stick out of your behind and get over yourself.
Savannah, your thoughts?
It's clearly not her month. I mean, I don't understand. What, ma'am? What do you want? What are you doing for the child that you chose to put in this situation? Does she have a job, or is she just waiting? Was she wanting, additional funding from Nick Cannon? So I want to know what you are doing. We all know what Nick Cannon's doing. You knew what he was doing. You knew what he was about. So, and even if Nick has 12 children, if he spent 2 days a month with each child, she's clearly still not going to see him for another 30 days. So, and that's not including work, all the jobs that he has, his hustle, his grind, because that's one thing you can't take away from Nick, is how hard he hustles and grinds. So this clearly, she just wanted some attention. I want to know what she is doing to protect, love, and nurture the child that she chose to bring into this situation. So I'm not looking at Nick Cannon sideways. I'm looking at you.
Ooh, Wayne, y'all rough tonight.
This woman is delusional.
Mm.
You knew this man was a celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
and if she's the one that got the number with the name with the 2 in it, and he got 12 kids, so that means he had 11 before you.
Mm.
Okay, what make you think that your child is going to get this special attention? I have no empathy for this woman. She knew better.
Mm.
The child didn't. So the child suffers. The child suffers by not having a father to grow up with. And when I say that, you need a father that's there present if you're doing it the right way. But you knew he had all these kids spread out. You ought to be thankful that you're getting some child support. It's nowhere in the world he's going to be able to get around all these kids in a favorable amount of time for any of them. So you probably singing the same song the rest of them probably singing at some point. So my thing is, suck it up, get your check, and when he can see the child, he'll see the child. You can't get blood from a turnip. He only one person. He only one person. Now, granted, there's a lot of kids be having spread all over. His fault too, but you knew better. You knew better, but you chose to bring a child in this world with the man. They got 11 other kids, small kids. So suck it up and move on and put more time into your child and try to do the best that you can. That's it.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
I feel like I'm in the twilight zone on this conversation here. I ain't giving Nick Cannon no pass. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, far too often we put the blame on the woman, like she was there by herself. Okay, it takes 2 to make a baby. Last time I checked, and Nick Cannon out here making babies with everybody, and everybody wants their child to have their father in their life. Let's be clear. If you had a child, you want your child to have both parents. You do if you're a real mama. Okay? It's not just on her. Yes, she laid down with him. Of course, she made a mistake. But am I going to give this man a pass? H no. I'm not. Nick Cannon does nothing for none of his children. And yet still this man sits up on every podcast and tell you he want to make more babies.
You talking.
So you want to go out there and make the black community what people already think we is. Women out here laying down, spreading their legs and having babies and having a struggle to take care of them by themselves. We got to be both mama and daddy all the time. No. We tired too. Okay? We tired. We tired of these sorry men that lay down, tell you everything you want to hear until they get it, and then they gone. And because the court tell them they got to pay that, that's the only reason why they paying you. But then they gonna tell you how you gonna live your life, how you gonna raise your kids, but then you can't come see them because you gave me some funky $2 or whatever. Miss me with that. I am tired of men feeling like they can do us any kind of way. Okay? And the black women is sitting here struggling on their own, trying to figure out how we gonna make ends do. We want a break too. We want to go out and get on a podcast and travel the world and everything too. But we can't. Because we got a kid on our hip 24/7. No, I ain't giving Nick Cannon nothing. He need to go ahead and man up. You got out here and made all 13, 12, whatever, how many babies you got. You made them all. Now you go out there and take care of them.
Ooh, thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
I get where you're coming from, in my opinion. But my thing is, Mariah Carey, he's not with her. The second baby mama, he's not with her. The third baby mama, he's not with her. The fourth, fifth, whatever baby mama, he's not with them. So you thinking that he's gonna be with you when he's already made these other kids and he's not there with them? So my thing is, black women have to start respecting themselves as well. Because you laying down or whatever, busting it wide up, whatever with this man, and I think he's using artificial insemination. I don't even think he's sleeping with him. But what I'm saying is, you know the cost when you got a baby by this man. You know what you was doing. You already knew how it was when you had the first child, and then you came back again and had another child. So if a woman don't respect herself, a man ain't gonna respect her either, because he's gonna do exactly what you allow him to do. What these women did was allowed by them. They knew exactly what Nick Cannon was doing. They knew exactly if he's not with the first mama, Mariah Carey got more money, way more money than all of them. And if he's not with her, you think he was finna come stay with you? And then the next one had another baby, and then another baby, and then another baby. So if a woman's not respecting herself, a man ain't gonna respect her either. He's out there, yes, he's out there putting these babies there in these women and whatsoever. If it was a woman that had all these different baby daddies, she would be called a slut. The W word. But by them going along with this mess, she knew exactly what she was signing up for. I'm not talking about the women that's out there being with these men, one man, and she's struggling and whatsoever. I understand that. But when you come out and you know exactly what this man is doing and you go along with it again, then you don't respect yourself at all anyway. You already know this man got a plantation of children. So you thinking that yours going to get more time than the others? No, and from what I understand, I'm not saying I'm right, but they said that he support his kids. Now I may not by being with them at all time because only 24 hours in a day. So I don't know how the world he gonna spend all this time with these different kids when he got to work and pay these bills and pay for them. But like I said, if these women don't start respecting themselves, these men ain't gonna respect them in either. You laying down with this man to get a bag or whatsoever, but you're not respecting yourself. You the one putting this burden on your children because you know what type of man this person is. So if you this is the type of father that you want for your child, then this is what you asked for. It was no guarantee that he was gonna be with you 24/7. I'm sorry he didn't see your child in 30 days or whatsoever. Oh, boo boo cry. You knew exactly what you signed up for. And it's ridiculous. It's pathetic. And maybe he'll come see her in May or him in May. I don't know. But I'm just saying, these women signed up for this bull crap. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Tay, your thoughts?
I got no sympathy for her at all. She knew what she was doing when she laid down with this man right here in the first place. You knew he was there in the street. Nick Cannon don't want you. When a man say he don't want you, don't let him tell you twice. Nick Cannon gonna stay in the street, and he gonna stay in the street. Let the garbage stay in the garbage. Okay? And you need to take care of your child. You need to take care of yourself, and put your child in first right there. Just because Nick Cannon give you some money, you think he don't want to stay with you? No, Nick Cannon only care about himself. Nick Cannon, the celebrity. Okay, girlfriend? That's all, Diva.
Oh, God, it was a rough night. I appreciate y'all. They gave nobody no mercy. Listen, when it comes to Diddy, I understand why he declined the deal. I get it. Roll the dice because you got nothing to lose at this point. If you can get 20 years if you found guilty and they was telling you we're giving you 18, you might as well go ahead and go to court. Nick Cannon, I will say this. I blame all the adult parties involved. But once the kid is here, do right by the kid. He chose to bring 12 kids into this world. He should make time to see all 12 of them. And like somebody said, made a good point. I think it was in my opinion. He running around to all these podcasts. Get off the podcast, that hour, whatever you spend it with them, and go spend it with one of your kids. Then we have Suge Knight. Suge Knight, he finally agreed to $1.5 million. The family got gypped. It's sad, but it is what it is, right? What can you do? I understand why they said they had enough and they was going to let it go, because in 2015, their family member died. Now we here in 2025. It's 10 years later. It's just too much. Kanye West, I wholeheartedly blame it on the dentist. 100%. I know Kanye is polarizing. I know he is who he is, and I know it is what it is. But I still will say this: a doctor, a dentist that is giving somebody and charging them $50K a month, I also blame the supplier. Because there's no dentist in the world that would need that much nitrous oxide for his practice, unless he's doing everybody in the country's teeth. In every procedure that you get at a dentist, you don't need to be put to sleep or sedated. So there's a lot of people responsible for this. And I believe Kanye's businessman at the time, Milo, when he said that this Thomas wanted to just take over everything of Kanye West, and he was doing, is no different. It's funny. It's interesting. Everybody is, and I'm not saying whether Diddy's guilty or innocent or whatever, but everybody connect to, oh, Diddy was giving these people something in their drink and drugging them and then violating them. This dentist is no difference. I don't understand how nobody's not connecting that. Only thing is, he wasn't violating Kanye West's body. He wanted to violate his business and his funds. He wanted to take it from him. It's no difference. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Don't forget, if you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Good night.